Well, it's been 4 years since Arrow's mishap with Donnie Darko. Today, we're going to see if the standard release holds up in 2025 and compare it to the original DVD release. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Ecto Violence channel. My name is Alec, this is Yoshi, this is Darwin. So I recently picked up Donnie Darko on 4K from Arrow Video. It was released 4 years ago originally. April 27th, 2021, they released the deluxe edition, or whatever they call their deluxe edition anyway. And apparently it had some issues. It wasn't playing right in some players, and it was basically skipping frames, dropping frames. I don't know how to describe it. I didn't see it. The easiest way to tell now if you have the new disc is it does have V2 at the end of the serial number on the actual disc itself. However, I did find through an Arrow blog that this release, which is the standard release, which didn't release till December of 2021, never had that issue, and it has always been the updated disc. The serial number is slightly different, just something to consider. Then we have my copy of Donnie Darko, and I know what you're thinking. In the intro, he said he's going to compare it to the original DVD, but that's the director's cut. Well, that's the thing. I bought the director's cut when it came out, because I was a big Donnie Darko fan. I didn't have the movie, and that's the one I was seeing in stores, right? I didn't know any better at the time because I didn't do a ton of research about it. I was just like, oh, Donnie Darko, the director's cut. Oh, it probably just has some extra stuff in it. That's cool. Now, at this point in my life, I definitely prefer the theatrical cut of Donnie Darko. Here's where this gets interesting. This is my original copy of this, or at least it's my original case. Somehow, this has now the regular edition standard theatrical cut for the DVD, but it still has Director's Cut Disc 2. Now, I don't know how this happened. It's a mystery. Call in Robert Stack, someone, because I don't know how that happened. Where did it go? How the hell did I get this one? Did somebody come and steal it and swap it who knew I collected movies? I don't understand. I'm just so confused. Regardless, it makes this easy because I'd rather compare the theatrical edition. So that's what we're going to do today. What's cool is all the special features from this release are on here, basically. Including one of my favorite things, the director's cut features a commentary with Kevin Smith and the director Richard Kelly. Like, it's just very interesting. And it's because Kevin Smith was working with Richard Kelly on that movie. I think Southland Tales, is that the one? Anyway, pretty cool stuff. Now, it doesn't say any of these special features are new, but Arrow did previously release this movie on Blu-ray. So I wonder if some of these special features that I don't recognize are from that, you know what I mean? I assume so. And without further ado, I think it's time to get into this comparison. Before we do, it's important to note that, I'm capturing these. We're not looking at this on a 4K TV. It's been compressed and everything. HDR doesn't come across through compressed YouTube videos that are not 4K. This movie's not going to look exactly how it looks on your TV the way it does in this video, unfortunately. With that being said, let's get into this comparison. All right, so here we are. I didn't put the labels on it this time because there's only 2 of them. You should be able to remember this. Left is DVD, right is 4K. And that's easy because chronologically, DVD came first. So here we have these opening shots, right? They're very kind of dark, early morning shots anyway. And I gotta say, the colors are pretty comparable. They definitely pop a little bit more in the 4K. And the darks. Just wait till you see what I mean with the darks in the 4K. So we're looking here, the 4K looks much cooler, and it does look a little darker, indeed. And the DVD doesn't look bad. But what I will say about this 4K is that they cleaned it up real good. On this DVD, watching it on 4K, it upscales a little bit obviously, but you can see every little scratch and hair on the film, you know what I mean? And there's plenty of them. Especially on shots like this where the sky is there. You see every little detail there, and it's interesting for sure. So again, neither of these looks bad or anything. I do prefer the 4K here if we're looking at these 2 shots. I like the colors a little bit more. It seems like it's a little more saturated, obviously, that's a big thing with 4Ks. Honestly, this movie was just shot really well too, I think. It's not like a super crazy movie, but the way it's shot is great. And here in this shot, the green looks a little bit brighter on the DVD in the grass, you know what I'm saying? These are very interesting things. It's hard to notice this kind of stuff until you put them side by side, which is why I do these, just for satisfy my curiosity and what I suspect is your curiosity too, if you clicked on this video. Again, look in here, look at that blue sky on the DVD. It looks great. Surprisingly, honestly, I think in this shot, I think the colors on the DVD look better. Obviously the 4K is way more crisp, but And here's what I mean with that saturation, that red pizza sauce, you know what I'm saying? Look at that. I'd rather eat the slice from the right. And again, it's noticeable here, the DVD on the left is definitely warmer. The 4K is cooler with colors. I left this in here just so you could kind of see the definition in there. Now, obviously it's compressed and it's small and, you know, et cetera, but it's much more clear on the 4K. I love it. And a shot coming up here is perfectly going to show you what I'm talking about with the darkness. So look at the saturation there of the blacks. Look how great that looks on the right. Again, less noticeable here, but this is what I'm talking about. How it's basically all kind of like a dark green on the left, but on the right feels genuinely black. It's subtle, right? You know? Now again, it's a little bit darker on the right there. Not by too much, but it does make the grass look and pop a little bit less, for sure, when we put them side by side. Like when you look at them like this, the DVD does not look bad at all. And I suspect the Blu-ray looks great too. And it's funny because this is shot, you know, what, probably in 2000, 2001? It came out in 2001, so, but, you know, it takes place in 1988. That's only a 13-year difference, which is crazy to think about now. It's 2025, that's like basing a movie in 2012. But they captured it. It feels just like an 80s movie, and not like an over-the-top 80s movie, just like a movie that happens to be taking place in the 80s. Here's a good shot comparison for just like the detail. Like, look at her face there. There's so much more there in the 4K, even in terms of contrast and like dynamic range, essentially. Like, that shit's crazy. And that's definitely the thing to note with it. Like, sure, some of the colors look a little less bright here, but overall the range is bigger. I try to include, you know, a variety of shots here. Okay, here's a good one again with showing off just how well the darkness works. Like, this is a great movie that should be a little dark. Darko, for Christ's sake, come on. I know you guys are with me on this. I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with how dark the 4K looks on this, and it's not like it's... Like, look at that. It's just that the blacks look good. I think they're confusing that for it being really dark. Here's a great shot for that level of detail on his face. Like, even the DVD, honestly, is doing a pretty good job. That 4K is insane. Again, very green/yellow on the left. Looks accurate to how it should look on the right. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's subtle, the differences here, but the clarity you get in the 4K is worth it. Like, these different, like, which coloring do you think looks better? Honestly, on the shots like this, it doesn't even really matter. But the 4K looks better clarity-wise, so I'm just going to go with that. These are going to be some good shots. Look at that pink. It's just more heavily saturated. I love that. Again, the blacks just, man. I feel like I'm trying to sell someone a CRT back in the day, you know what I mean? But yeah, like the 4K, that's what I feel like this movie looks like. Truly, like the real version of this movie, you know what I mean? Yeah, even the highlighting on the Frank's skin here looks way more natural and everything. People will tell you this is another sign of the fact that Donnie Darko is like Jesus or something, you know? The last temptation of Christ. Of course, you get a little sparkle motion in here because he burns down that pervert's house. And fire is always something that's very interesting. This is a great shot to look at, too. The dynamic range. Yeah, the fire's not as bright, but it actually looks like fire. Not just like light being emitted. Which, I mean, it's kind of a look too. But, like, you can see all the detail in the fire on the 4K. On the DVD, it gets lost once it's too bright. Yet again, look at those blacks. Look at that night background. We have all this tragic stuff. We have Frank showing up, man. Look at that. I think for the most part, the coloring does look better on the 4K. There's a few shots, a few here and there where I was like, oh, I think I like the coloring there on the other one better, but yeah, look, that's a great shot. Okay, again, these sky shots, I love this ending and how all this stuff looks, man. It's so cool. You know, very comparable. This is another thing where I'm saying the coloring doesn't even matter that much. Thankfully, the color isn't super crazy different between the two of these because it shouldn't be. That's not what you want. overall, I will definitely say that the 4K is better. Obviously, right? We're talking DVD versus 4K. We're not even talking a Blu-ray. But I'm 4 years late on this 4K as well. So maybe if you're watching this, you're just starting a 4K collection. I started mine like maybe 6 or 7 months ago for the first time, Before that, I was just mostly buying VHS and Blu-rays and DVDs, and now I've just added another format to that. Well, that was it. That was Donnie Darko, the 4K versus the DVD. Sorry I didn't include the Blu-ray and the VHS. I would have gotten the Blu-ray if I already had the VHS. The VHS, however, is very expensive. So that's why the VHS wasn't in this comparison. And the Blu-ray I just didn't feel like was necessary because I was like, let's just do the DVD. I've heard people say the Blu-ray is a lot brighter, but the problem with that is the director wants it darker. That's how it should be. That's how this movie is supposed to be. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.